There is a neighborhood on the northeastern coast of Spain, 30 kilometers from Barcelona, a coastal town called Mataro, and inside Mataro, a district called Rocca Fonda. Rocca Fonda is not glamorous. It is not the kind of place that appears in travel guides or tourist brochures. It is a tight-knit, working-class neighborhood, dense with the families of immigrants who came from Morocco, from Equatorial Guinea, from Algeria, from dozens of other countries, searching for a better life on the Catalan coast. Its streets are narrow, its apartment blocks are modest, its postcode is 08304, and every time Lamine Yamal scores a goal for Barcelona, for Spain in the biggest stadiums in the world, he holds up his fingers. 304, 304. Rocca Fonda, no matter how high he soars, he always points back to where he came from. On the 13th of July 2007, in the nearby municipality of Esplugues de Llobregat, a baby boy was born. His full name was Lamine Yamal Nasreyayi Ebana. His father, Mounir Nasreyayi, had come from Larraque, a port city in northern Morocco. He had immigrated to Spain and settled in Rocca Fonda, working hard to build a life for his family on this stretch of the Catalan coast. His mother, Sheila Ebana, was from Equatorial Guinea in Central Africa. She brought with her the warmth and resilience of a woman who understood what it meant to build something from very little. His ethnicity combines Spanish nationality, Moroccan heritage from his father, and Equatorial Guinean heritage from his mother. He wears that identity on his feet. Moroccan, Equatorial Guinean, Spanish, 3 worlds in one boy, and there was another presence in Lamine's early life, perhaps the most important of all. His grandmother, Fatima. Fatima lived in Rocca Fonda. She was the heartbeat of the family, the woman who was present at every moment that mattered, who prayed for her grandson, who believed in him before the world knew his name. Today, Lamine has bought her a home in Rocca Fonda. He said, "Seeing my father at peace in his home, my grandmother at peace in hers, and my mother having everything she wants, that is everything a child could ask for." But before any of that, before the trophies and the records and the fame, there was just a boy in Rocca Fonda with a football. And from the very first moment he touched one, it was clear he was something different. At a very young age, he was scouted by Barcelona's academy. Competing with many talented youngsters was tough, but his exceptional skills and work ethic made him stand out. Yamal often trained extra hours to improve his finishing and dribbling, qualities that would later define his career. La Masia, Barcelona's legendary youth academy, the same academy that had produced Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Pique, Fabregas, the greatest generation of Spanish football in history, and even there, surrounded by the best young talents in Spain, in Europe, perhaps in the world, he stood out. The coaches noticed it immediately. The pace, the balance, the ability to receive the ball in tight spaces and turn defenders inside out. The composure of a boy who seemed to have no fear of the moment. He was not just talented, he was different. The date is the 29th of April 2023. FC Barcelona are playing in La Liga, and in the 62nd minute, Xavi, Barcelona's manager, makes a substitution. A boy walks to the touchline. He is 15 years old, 15 years and 9 months. He wears the number 27 shirt. His name is Lamine Yamal. He became the youngest player in FC Barcelona's history to make a senior appearance, debuting at 15 years and 9 months in April 2023. The youngest player ever to appear for FC Barcelona, a club that had existed since 1899, that had seen Cruyff, Maradona, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Messi, the greatest footballers who ever played the game. And now, this 15-year-old from Rocca Fonda. He came on, he played. He did things with the ball that made the crowd murmur, not because they were spectacular in isolation, but because of what they meant coming from someone so young. The calmness, the execution, the complete absence of nerves. He was 15 years old, playing for Barcelona, as if he had been doing it his entire life, which in a sense he had. The following season, 2023 to 2024, Lamine Yamal became a regular in Barcelona's first team. He was 16. He was scoring goals. He was creating chances. He was doing things that had analysts checking his birth certificate. 16 years old, in La Liga, performing at the highest level of club football in the world. And then, in the summer of 2024, came the tournament that announced him to the entire world. The UEFA European Championship, Germany 2024. Spain arrived with a talented squad, young, exciting, full of players who had grown up in La Masia and the Spanish football system. And at the very center of it, a 16-year-old boy from Rocca Fonda. From the first match, Lamine Yamal was Spain's most dangerous player. His pace terrified defenders. His dribbling created space. His vision and his left foot, that extraordinary left foot, carved through opposition defenses with a creativity that seemed to belong to a different, older player. He became the youngest player to appear at a Euro, 16 years and 338 days, when Spain played Croatia. He then became the youngest player to appear in the knockout phase when Spain beat Georgia 4-1 in the round of 16. Record after record fell. And then came the semi-final. Spain versus France. The 9th of July 2024. France took the lead. The game was tense. Spain was struggling to break through, and then Lamine Yamal received the ball on the right side of the penalty area. He was 16 years old, 16 years and 362 days. One day before his 17th birthday, he looked up, he saw the space, and he hit it. A curling, bending, perfectly placed shot that flew into the top corner of the French goal. The stadium erupted, youngest scorer in the history of the European Championship, at 16 years and 362 days, breaking a record that had stood for 20 years. Spain won the match 2-1. They were in the final, and Lamine Yamal, one day before his 17th birthday, had just scored one of the most beautiful goals in European Championship history. The day of the final, the 14th of July 2024, was Lamine Yamal's 17th birthday. Spain versus England, Berlin. A day after celebrating his 17th birthday, the youngster was named in the starting 11 as Spain and England went head-to-head in the Euro 2024 final. He became the youngest player ever to play in a major international final, breaking a record set by Pelé in the 1958 World Cup final. Pelé, the greatest player of his generation. Brazil, 1958. Lamine Yamal broke Pelé's record at 17 years and 1 day old. Amazingly, Yamal may not have been allowed to keep playing had the final against England gone to extra time, as German law prevents anyone under the age of 18 from working beyond 11 p.m. Spain won the final 2-1. Lamine Yamal, who had turned 17 the day before, became the youngest player in history to win the European Championship. Yamal's assist for Nico Williams in the final victory against England was his fourth of the Euros, a joint record, and he was named Young Player of the tournament. He was also the youngest player to win a major international trophy, breaking the record of Pelé when he lifted the World Cup with Brazil in 1958. 4 assists, 1 stunning goal, Young Player of the tournament, the youngest major trophy winner in football history, younger than Pelé, at 17 years old, and back in Rocca Fonda in the narrow streets with the modest apartment blocks, people who had known Lamine since he was a small boy ran into the streets, cheering, crying, hugging, their boy, their neighborhood's boy, had just made history. August 2024. Spain had just won the Euros. The country was still celebrating. Lamine Yamal was the most famous teenager in Spain. And then, a phone call that stopped everything. In August 2024, Yamal's father, Mounir Nasraoui, was stabbed multiple times in a car park in Mataro after an argument with some men while he was walking his dog. He was treated at the Can Rudy Hospital and was reported to be in a serious but stable condition. He recovered fully. The incident reminded the world that behind every superstar lies a very human family story. His father, stabbed 3 times, in the chest and side, life-threatening wounds. Lamine Yamal, who had just been on top of the world, was now sitting in a hospital, waiting to hear if his father would survive. Mounir Nasraoui survived. He recovered. But the incident was a reminder, brutal and sudden, that fame and trophies cannot protect you from the real world. That behind the records and the celebrations and the golden moments, there are real people who love each other and can be hurt. Lamine went back to training. He went back to playing, but something in him had deepened. Back at Barcelona, the club made a decision that spoke volumes about what they believed this boy would become. Ahead of the 2025-26 season, Barcelona assigned him the club's number 10 jersey, the shirt previously worn by Lionel Messi at age 17. The number 10, Messi's number, the most iconic shirt number in the history of FC Barcelona, given to a 17-year-old boy from Rocca Fonda. The message was clear. Barcelona believed they had found the next one, and Lamine Yamal, in the 2024-25 season, proved they were right. In the 2024-25 season, Yamal made 55 appearances for Barcelona, scoring 18 goals and providing 25 assists across all competitions as the club won a domestic treble. 55 appearances, 18 goals, 25 assists, a domestic treble. At 17 and 18 years old, he finished second in the 2025 Ballon d'Or standings, second in the world. At 18 years old, the 2026 FIFA World Cup, North America, Spain arrived as European champions, and Lamine Yamal, now 18, wearing the number 19 shirt that Messi had worn at his first World Cup in 2006, arrived as the most famous teenager in football. A hamstring injury in April 2026 had ended his club season early. He recovered in time, just in time. And when he returned to the pitch for Spain, the world held its breath. He delivered. One of Yamal's earliest achievements came during the group stage, when he scored against Saudi Arabia to become the youngest Spanish player ever to score at a FIFA World Cup. The youngest Spanish scorer in World Cup history, another record, as natural as breathing for this boy. Spain marched through the tournament. Their defense was historic, conceding only 1 goal in 8 matches, the fewest ever by a World Cup champion, all the way to the final. Spain versus Argentina. Lionel Messi, born in 1987, versus Lamine Yamal, born in 2007, 20 years apart. This was the first time in FIFA World Cup history that there were players on opposite sides starting a final separated in age by 20 or more years, the greatest player of the previous generation, against the boy who might be the greatest player of the next. Spain won, 1-0, after extra time. At 19 years and 6 days, Lamine Yamal became one of the youngest players ever to win the FIFA World Cup. He is also the 3rd youngest player to appear in a FIFA World Cup final, behind Pele for Brazil in 1958 and Giuseppe Bergomi for Italy in 1982. Yamal is the first ever teenager to win both the Euros and the FIFA World Cup, the first teenager in history to win both the European Championship and the FIFA World Cup. He was 19 years old. Let us look at what Lamine Yamal has already achieved at 19 years old. Youngest player in FC Barcelona history to make a senior appearance. Youngest player to appear at a European Championship. Youngest scorer at a European Championship. Youngest player to appear in a European Championship final. Youngest player to win a European Championship. Youngest Spanish player to score at a FIFA World Cup. First teenager in history to win both the European Championship and the FIFA World Cup. Copa Trophy winner, best player under 21 in the world, 2 years in a row. The only player in history to win it consecutively. Second in the 2025 Ballon d'Or standings. These are not projections. These are not promises. These are things that have already happened. And he is 19 years old. There is a boy who grew up in Rocca Fonda, in the narrow streets of a working-class neighborhood where families from Morocco and Equatorial Guinea and Algeria built lives far from the countries they came from. A boy whose grandmother Fatima prayed for him and believed in him before he had done anything to justify belief, who debuted for Barcelona at 15, who scored a goal one day before his 17th birthday that the world will not forget, who won the Euros at 17, who broke Pele's record before he was old enough to vote, who wore Messi's shirt number at Barcelona, who faced Messi himself in a World Cup final, and won. Every time he scores, he holds up his fingers. 3, 0, 4. He does not let you forget where he came from. Lamine Yamal has put Rocca Fonda on the world map. It is a working-class area with lots of migrants, but he has made people here believe they can be something. It does not have to be a footballer. It might be a doctor. Just to believe, just to believe. That is what Lamine Yamal has given to Rocca Fonda. To every working-class neighborhood in every city in the world where a child kicks a ball and dares to dream something impossible. He showed them that it is possible. His name is Lamine Yamal. He is 19 years old, and he is just getting started. Thank you for watching Shadow Files. If this story moved you, subscribe for more new stories every week.